You're copying and pasting text from ChatGPT into your documents 134 times a day. That's not a typo. That number comes from actual productivity research. And every single time you do it, you're losing 23 minutes of focus according to researchers at UC Irvine. But what if I told you there's a feature hiding inside ChatGPT right now that most people completely ignore, and it can cut your document workflow time in half? This isn't about coding. This isn't about becoming a prompt engineer. This is about the 10-minute workflow upgrade that's going to change how you work with AI forever. I'm going to show you exactly how ChatGPT Canvas stacks up against the old ChatGPT interface for everyday tasks, docs, emails, and simple automations. No hype, no fluff, just the actual side-by-side comparison nobody else is showing you. And stick around until the end, because I'm going to reveal the one workflow mistake that's costing you hours every single week, and most people don't even realize they're making it. Let's start with the problem. And I want you to be honest with yourself here. You open ChatGPT. You ask it to write an email for you. It spits out a response in the chat. You read it. Something's not quite right. Maybe the tone is too formal. Maybe it's missing a key point. So what do? You type another prompt. Make it shorter. ChatGPT generates the entire email again. You scroll down. You read it. Still not perfect. Actually, make the second paragraph more casual, but keep the first paragraph the same. ChatGPT generates the whole thing again. Now you're scrolling through this massive conversation thread trying to find which version was actually the best one. Was it version 3? Or was it version 5? Wait, version 4 had that good opening line. You finally find the version you want. You copy it. You paste it into your Google document. You format it. You realize there's a typo. You either fix it manually or, and this is where it gets really inefficient, you go back to ChatGPT and ask it to fix one word. That entire process just took you 15 minutes for a 3-paragraph email. Now multiply that by every email, every document, every piece of content you create with AI assistance. That's not a workflow. That's a nightmare wearing a productivity costume. This is where Canvas changes everything. Canvas launched in October 2024 as a completely new interface within ChatGPT. And when I say new, I mean fundamentally different in how it approaches document creation. Instead of everything happening in a single chat thread where your document gets buried under conversation, Canvas opens in a separate window right next to the chat. Your document sits there, visible, editable, permanent, while the chat stays on the left for your instructions. Here's the first game changer. You can highlight specific text and request targeted edits only on that section. Let me show you what I mean. In the old ChatGPT, if you wanted to change one paragraph, the AI had to regenerate your entire document every single time. In Canvas, you highlight the paragraph you don't like, you type "make this more conversational," and only that paragraph changes. Everything else stays exactly where it was. That alone saves you 5 to 10 minutes per document. But we're just getting started. See this floating toolbar? These are built-in shortcuts for the tasks you do most often. Adjust length, change reading level, add polish, even add emojis if that's your thing. In the old interface, you need to type out, "Please make this email more professional," and about 20% shorter as a separate prompt. Here, 2 clicks. Done. Let me walk you through an actual workflow that I use every single day. Scenario: I need to write a follow-up email sequence for a client project. 3 emails. Different tones. Building urgency over time. Old ChatGPT approach. I type my prompt. Get email 1. Copy it to a doc. Go back. Type a new prompt for email 2. Get a response. Copy it. Go back. Type a prompt for email 3. By now my conversation is a mile long and I've switched context 6 times. Total time, 22 minutes in my testing. And that's not including the inevitable revisions. Canvas approach. I open Canvas. I give it my overall context once. It generates all 3 emails in a single document. I can see them all at once. I highlight email 2, ask for a tone adjustment. Only email 2 changes. I use the just length shortcut on email 3. Done. Total time, 8 minutes. That's a 14-minute savings on a single task. If you do this kind of work just 3 times a day, that's 42 minutes saved daily. 3.5 hours per week. That's 180 hours per year you're getting back. Now here's something that genuinely shocked me when I discovered it. Canvas has version history. You can restore previous versions of your document using a simple back button. This means you can experiment freely. Try a completely different approach. Hate it? 1 click and you're back to where you were. In the old ChatGPT, there was no going back. If you asked for a change and it ruined your document, You had to scroll through your chat history, hoping you could find the older version. Sometimes it was there. Sometimes you'd already started a new session, and it was gone forever. This single feature has saved me from losing work more times than I can count. And it fundamentally changes how you can approach creative work with AI. Let's look at another real-world scenario. You need to write a proposal for a potential client. It needs to be professional. It needs to cover scope, timeline, and pricing. And you know you're going to need to revise it at least 3 or 4 times before it's ready. Old way, write the prompt. Get the output. Copy to Word. Read through it. Go back to ChatGPT. Ask for revisions. Get a new version. Now you have 2 versions in your chat. Copy the new one. Paste over the old one in Word. Realize you actually like the original pricing section better. Try to find it in your chat. It's buried under 5 messages. Eventually, recreate it manually. I've lived this nightmare. You've probably lived this nightmare. Canvas way, open Canvas. Generate the proposal. It sits in the document window. Highlight the scope section. Make this more specific about deliverables. Only that section updates. Highlight the timeline. Add a milestone for week 3. Done. Highlight pricing. Create 3-tier options instead of 1. Perfect. Your entire proposal is visible the whole time. You never lose context. You never lose a version. You're editing a document, not playing archaeology with a chat thread. Now, I promised you no hype. So let's talk about what Canvas cannot do. First limitation, no real-time collaboration. Unlike Google Docs or Notion, only one person can edit a Canvas document at a time. If you're on a team, you can't both be in there making changes simultaneously. Second limitation, export is manual. Canvas documents don't sync directly with Google Docs, Word, or any other platform. When you're done, you still need to copy and paste your final document into your destination. Third limitation, formatting options are limited. Canvas supports Markdown, headers, bullet points, bold, italic, code blocks. But you can't insert tables, images, or custom fonts directly in Canvas. For complex documents, you'll need to do final formatting elsewhere. These limitations are real. And for some workflows, they might be deal breakers. But here's the thing most people miss. Canvas isn't trying to replace Google Docs. It's trying to replace the messy middle, that painful back-and-forth refinement process where you're shaping raw AI output into something usable. You still export to Google Docs for final formatting and collaboration. But the creation process, the revision process, that's where Canvas shines. Let's talk about automations. And before you click away thinking, I'm not technical, stick with me. This is simpler than you think. Every week, you probably do tasks that follow the same pattern. Maybe you summarize meeting notes into action items. Maybe you convert rough thoughts into LinkedIn posts. Maybe you transform customer feedback into response templates. In the old ChatGPT, you'd have to re-explain your format every single time. Write it like this, with this tone, following this structure. In Canvas, you build your template once. You refine it until it's exactly right. Then, you save that conversation. Next week, you open it up, paste in your new raw material, and ask Canvas to apply the same format to this new content. Your document updates while maintaining your established structure. No re-explaining. No reformatting. No starting from scratch. I have a client who used to spend 90 minutes every Monday creating her weekly team update email. Same format every time, just different content. With Canvas templates, she's down to 15 minutes. That's 75 minutes reclaimed every single week. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. How do you actually get access to Canvas? Good news. As of December 2024, Canvas is available to all ChatGPT users, including the free tier. When it first launched in October, it was limited to Plus, Team, and Enterprise subscribers only. To open Canvas, you simply ask ChatGPT to create or edit a document. It's trained to understand when to open Canvas versus responding in regular chat. You can also specifically ask, open this in Canvas, if it's not happening automatically. That said, the Plus subscription at $20 per month does give you priority access during high traffic times and faster response speeds. For heavy users, that $20 pays for itself in time savings within the first week. Okay, here's the workflow mistake I promised to reveal. The one that's costing you hours every week. Most people learn about Canvas, try it once, and then go right back to their old copy-paste workflow. Not because Canvas is bad, but because habit is powerful. You've been using the chat-only interface for however long you've been using ChatGPT. Your brain is wired to type prompt, read response, copy, paste. That neural pathway is deep. The mistake is not forcing the switch, not being intentional about building the new habit. Here's what I recommend. For the next 2 weeks, commit to using Canvas for every document you create with ChatGPT. Every email, every proposal, every piece of content. Even when it feels slower at first because you're learning. There's a learning curve. Maybe 3 days where you're figuring out the interface. But once it clicks, you'll never go back. The efficiency gains compound every single day. Let me give you the exact 10-minute setup to transform your workflow starting today. Minute 1 through 3. Open ChatGPT. Start a new conversation. Type "create a professional email" about your actual topic and open it in Canvas. Watch how the interface works. Minute 4 through 6. Highlight a section. Request a targeted edit. Watch how only that section changes. Try the floating toolbar shortcuts. Get comfortable with the layout. Minute 7 through 9. Use the version history. Make a dramatic change. Then revert. See how safe it is to experiment. Minute 10. Copy your finished document and paste it into wherever it needs to go. Notice how much cleaner that process was. That's it. 10 minutes. You now understand Canvas better than 90% of ChatGPT users. Let me give you a clear decision framework so you know exactly when to use Canvas versus regular chat. Use Canvas when you're creating any document longer than 2 paragraphs. You know you'll need to make revisions. You want to edit specific sections without regenerating everything. You're building templates you'll reuse. Stick with regular chat when you need a quick one-off answer. You're brainstorming and don't need a formal document. You want code that you'll immediately run elsewhere. You're having a conversation rather than creating content. Canvas is a tool. Like any tool, it works best when you use it for the right job. A hammer is great for nails, terrible for screws. Same principle here. Let me leave you with a daily routine that's working for me and hundreds of people I've shared this with. Morning. Open Canvas for your first writing task of the day. Get in the habit of starting there. Midday. Any emails or documents that need more than one revision. Canvas. Build your muscles. End of day. Review what you created. If something worked well as a format, save that conversation. It becomes tomorrow's template. Within 1 week, you'll have a library of reusable templates. Within 2 weeks, you'll be completing tasks in half the time. Within a month, you'll wonder how you ever worked the old way. Look, I'm not here to tell you Canvas is magic. It's not. It's a better interface for a process you're already doing. But that better interface? It compounds. Every minute you save today is a minute you save tomorrow and the day after and the day after that. If this helped you see ChatGPT differently, hit subscribe. I'm breaking down AI workflows for non-technical users every single week. The practical stuff that actually saves time, not the hype that wastes it. And watch this video next, where I show you the 5 ChatGPT features that 90% of users don't even know exist. Number 3 literally changed how I work with AI forever. I'll see you in the next one.